What's going on, y'all? We are back again for another review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 11, Thelma and Louise take Flint. Child, speaking of Kenya, the whole first part of this, Kenya and Phaedra, they're on their way to go to Flint, Michigan for Phaedra's camp that she's doing for the kids there, dealing with this Flint water crisis. Do you know the shit still ain't solved? It is 2017 and it still ain't solved. Like, that is so fucking ridiculous. That's what the fuck we need to be out there protesting and, getting up in arms about shit. Anyway, I ain't finna go there. But yeah, so they out there, they get a new caddy, a little old school caddy, vintage caddy, and with their little skies on. Oh, you gonna be my Louise to my Thelma? You gonna be the Thelma to my Louise? I said, look at this two wine fool ass rip off shit. That's what they was looking like, but it was kind of cute. So I was like, whatever, y'all go ahead and do what y'all gotta do because it's for a good cause. They get to the camp and Phaedra shows Kenya where she gonna be staying at. Kenya looking like, hold up, this look like a jail cell. I said, girl, if you don't shut your mouth up and just go with it, you're in like what looks like probably a little dorm or whatever. I said, did you go to college? And if you did go to college, did you stay on campus? Did you sleep in a dorm? You had twin size beds or whatever? What did you think you was coming into? A big ass room with a bunch of flowers and a awesome view with a big ass king size deluxe bed or something like that. No, girl, this is what it is out here on camp life, okay? And then at first she was joking about going back to to the Ritz Carltons or the Hiltons or whatever. But she's roughing it out, I guess. They go to the cabins and they meet some of the girls, and it was cute. And I really do think that what Phaedra and them are doing for this cause is really, really good. And I applaud her for her efforts. So moving back to Atlanta. No, let's get back on this shit because Kenya. So remember a couple of episodes ago when Matt fucked up King and stuff, and I know a lot of people had some doubts in saying that, oh, because the glass broke outward instead of inward and all that stuff. Y'all, he did it. The video was out at one point. He did it. He admitted it. He admitted it today. Okay, he put up a post talking about yeah, I was fucking up her property. I did all that shit. I said, oh, so you telling on yourself? Yes, but he tried to spill some tea on Kenya, and I really don't know whether or not to believe it because both Kenya and Matt are full of shit when it comes to this relationship. These are two people, oil and vinegar. They do not need to mix. They won't mix, and they just need to stay the fuck away from each other. And I'm like, what the fuck happened that he is spilling all this stuff, talking about for the first year or whatever, when they was supposedly dating, she was out here fucking around with another dude who happens to be a Nigerian named JoJo. JoJo the Nigerian in her phone. I said, oh, so you finna sit up here and spill all this shit like a bitch. I mean, did Kenya say some more stuff? Because I didn't need to know this, but bitch, you fucking around with a Nigerian too. Said this Nigerian is her investor who did all this stuff with her hair care line and all this shit. I said, So just about everybody in this cast and fucked around with a Nigerian. At first it was Porsha. Okay, y'all got down on her. Then it was Phaedra. Now it's fucking Kenya too. So girl, whatever. Matt, Matt, let it the fuck go. Let it the fuck go. If I was you, I really can't feel sorry for you if any of this shit is true. Because here's my thing. You should have went once you encountered who the fuck Kenya Moore was and you saw the cameras when you first met her. What you should have did was go back and look at the prior seasons that she was on. You do your research. You don't just take people at face values. These days you Google motherfuckers, okay? You should have did that and you wouldn't have been in all this bullshit. I'm gonna leave that shit alone. Y'all can discuss amongst yourselves in the comments about this shit. That's it. Moving on from that, Porsha is having dinner with Todd. Todd proceeds to tell her that because they was posting some stuff on Instagram, and because he works with somebody that's probably like a Trump supporter and very conservative, having Porsha posting with the Phaedra being at the DNC and then having this video with Porsha and Todd in it. And she was like, what you mean? Because it's not like we was dating or something. I said, well, the video was very suggestive, okay? As if y'all are a couple. So that's one thing. And then she was like, so what you talking about? What's the point of this conversation? Well, he was basically trying to give me the option of either take the stuff down and not do it again, or I guess get fired or leave or quit. So I chose the job. I chose you over the job. Me and Porsha looked up and was like, why the fuck would you do that? And let me tell y'all something. In this whole, I felt a type of way because everything that Porsha was saying to this matter, it made sense to me, and I agreed. And I was sitting here like, what the hell is happening? Okay, she said, first of all, do you even know what you want to do with this relationship? No, not really. So you quit your job and you chose me and you don't even know what you want to do with this relationship? Are you serious? This is making me scared because you're unstable. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're not even taking it serious because I see you about to smile. Why would you do that? I said, why would you be such a dumbass? My thing is, are we really buying that he quit his job for Porsha? You're not about to be in a relationship with her. We're not really buying that this is a real relationship. He probably not coming back for next season. This shit is probably over and done with. And like Porsha said, I made it clear I wasn't trying to have a relationship. I was just trying to get pregnant. But baby, you out here doing relationship type shit. Y'all going on dinners, trying to get to know each other, calling each other baby, sneaking each other's in the houses and shit. You throwing all mixed signals too, okay? But I would not drop my job for a fucking bitch that I just came back. Not no shit for no reality TV. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Todd, you dumb as fuck on that. Go back and get your job, okay? Or maybe you was just using this as an excuse to go ahead and quit because you really wanted to at first. Or maybe you really thought that this was gonna parlay into something big or whatever by you being an extra on this show. Girl, no. Either way, the answer is no. So Phaedra go gets Kenya. They go down and they talk to the camp kids or whatever. And this is the type of Kenya that I like to see, okay? She is not being so much pretentious. She's not being shady. She's not doing any of those stuff that's, annoying or whatever. I mean, yeah, her little speech was kind of like, girl, what? Twirl on them hoes. But I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them a little bit of confidence and stuff like that. She was telling them how it took her three tries to become Miss America, whatever it is that she, went out for before she actually got it. And that's showing that if you have a dream, if you have a goal, even if you get knocked down once, twice, do not stop. Just keep going and going until you reach it. Reach for your dreams. Don't let nobody tell you no. I was like, that's a good message. And then when she brought up the skin color issue, how many of you guys ever had somebody tell you too dark, and you too this, and you too that? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, with Phaedra too. When all them, damn near everybody rose their hand. And that's a shame because that's something that actually still goes on. And it's unfortunate that it still goes on today. I just want y'all got kids, especially if y'all got young girls, just tell them that they beautiful no matter how they look, okay? Don't pressure them into, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, because that's going to make them grow up and want to hate themselves or try to change themselves to fit in and all this shit. No, let them know that they are beautiful and fine just the way they are, okay? That's a lesson that needs to be learned and be taught all over. That should be in the fucking curriculum for some of these kids at school because Lord knows they need to hear it. Moving on from that, it was cute seeing them going on a little camping trip. The water trip and doing the little rap. That little girl kind of snapped. I said, all right, girl. My name is this and isn't this. I said, okay. You better do it with all the little confidence you got. That was cute. But, bitch, when they was in there doing a little assembly or whatever with all the camp members and they up there doing their little dancing and they stepping and all that stuff, hitting them folks, hitting that dab, I was like, okay, this is cute. But when them little boys came out there, and the one first started saying, I never got a chance to see my mom and dad. And then he broke down crying. I said, oh no, now y'all not finna do this to me. And then the other one was saying he saw his brother get shot in the head. Then the other one was talking about the water. I was sitting here like, no, not tonight, not tonight. This is good, but not tonight. I can't do this. I can't do that. I refuse. I said, that shit touched me so fucking hard. I said, see, this is what needs to be happening. Quit all this fucking bickering and back and forth and come out and help somebody, put your energy to a good cause. And, them kids was very, very appreciative that somebody actually gave a damn, okay? And they were just saying, I'm so glad that you came out here and all this stuff. And they was all just breaking down crying. I was like, go back to when King was talking to them kids and that little girl, Erin, came up there and said, you're my idol. And I said, we got to do better. We still got some work to do, but all right. I'm gonna give Kenya that. Let her go. I'm gonna leave her alone. Moving on from that, Cynthia, she moves on. Brings her ass over there to Candy House. She dead ass serious about sleeping over there at Candy House. Cynthia done brought her wig. She done brought a basket full of goodies. And I said, Candy was like, well, damn, don't she know we got food here? And I said, Candy, you should be appreciative because you a cheap bitch too. But me, if I'm you letting me sleep over your house for a couple of days, I'm not going to further inconvenience you by, eating your food up or whatever when I know I can afford to buy my own. I mean, it's bad enough in my mind. It's like, you're already letting me use your bed or whatever, or a couch or whatever to sleep on. No, I'm not going to further inconvenience you. So that's where probably Cynthia was coming from. But, I get where Candy coming from too. Because most time when you go over your friend's house and kick it, you don't need to bring shit. All right. But that's Cynthia. And then we see that Phaedra is finally back home. She's with her kids, Mr. President over there eating on jalapeno peppers and like, this shit is nasty, it's hot. She was like, girl, yeah, I told you. I told you, little boy. But Cynthia finally gets a call from the realtor saying that the third appraisal went in and she's now able to close on her home, the lake house. Baby, that lake house was still back up to the 950. I thought she was gonna get a deal and be like $300,000 off. I thought the second appraisal they had that was the original price. It only knocked $9,000 off of it because the original price was $959,000. I said, ain't this about a bitch? Well, shit, if you can afford it, come pay off my goddamn student loans. Come on now, somebody needs to do something. All right, but anyway, that's good for her. What else wound up happening? So Porsha is sick. Okay, Porsha, not necessarily sick, but she had a little fainting spell in the nail salon. And well, let me go back. I don't want to get to that in a second. I'll get to that in a second. Bob and Sheree go on a date. Bob is trying to, do it big, make up for the last time, take her to this like burlesque type of restaurant where it's just them. And he was like, I want to give you an experience like when we went over around the world. Remember we was in like, what would he say, in Milan or Paris or whatever, we got kicked out. And Sheree explained that basically because he was out there fucking around, flirting with other bitches right in front of her face. So, she said some things, did some things, and, they was escorted out the country. Ain't that some shit? Okay. And so they getting ready to do dinner. Then all of a sudden it's a show. We hear the little burlesque music come on. The little white girl on the stage. I said, I expect a little bit better, but you got to work with what you got. Okay, this way you make your living. Go ahead and do you, boo. And then Bob proceeds to get his ass up there. And I said, Bob, put your tits away and go sit back down. You know damn well you about to start sweating before you even get to that stage and do anything strenuous that's not strenuous. Let me tell you something. I'm a big bitch. Okay? And I sweat sometimes when I'm walking or doing a lot of physical activity. Okay? Not when I'm just getting up from walking from my bedroom to the bathroom, walking from my bedroom to the front door or downstairs. I don't sweat like that. Contrary to what people may think, no, I don't sweat like that, okay? I just don't understand why Bob's sweating like that. I just don't. Bob sweats getting out the goddamn car. I'm like, damn. Bob will sweat from coming to that table to that damn stage. And that's like only 10 feet. What are you sweating for? Are you nervous? Is it the cameras? I'm confused. What's going on? Sheree, check your man. Okay, did you see in the confessional when she was like, what attracted me to Bob was... I'm just gonna assume that long pause and then she did something. I guess it was the dick. I don't know. Y'all fill in the blank because I just don't see it. I don't see it. I know she wanted to say money, but she didn't want to put it all out there. But we already know what it is. And so he was just up there being goofy. That's all it was. And then we finally get to this shit with Porsha. Porsha that had a fainting spell. Phaedra on the phone talking to her. Mind you, Shamia's in the house with her trying to hang up the phone on her. She fainted in a nail salon. She said that this happened to her like 5 other times, and she said she has this condition that it's not enough blood flowing to the brain or some shit. And I said, girl, don't put that out there because, heartless people can make some jokes. It's not funny. It is not funny because it probably is conditioned. But you know, if you fainting all that time and you finna have seizures all the time, damn, you really need to get that shit checked. All right, Phaedra wants them to come out and do some shit, and you know, Shamia looking like, girl, nah, hell no. Todd comes over, okay, to check on Porsha, bring her some ice cream and all that stuff. And next thing you know, she's just giving him this little funky attitude. Let me tell you something. Did y'all see the way he tried to kiss on her? I was like, you know, Todd, he is like literally half a step up from Duke, okay? Y'all know Duke wasn't all the way there either, okay? And Todd, he ain't no better. I thought he would have been, but he really not. He goofy. He's a goofball, but I guess. And Porsha, I mean, Ty was trying to be cute and see about him, and she was just like, you know why I'm here? The doctor says because I'm stressed, and you know why I'm stressed? Because of you, bitch. That's what it is. You out here playing around, ain't got no damn job, and doing all this other shit. Then you want me to come and have time with you when I'm trying to do my work? I'm a busy ass woman. I got jobs. That's how she was talking to him, okay? He was like, so what? I still want to have time with you. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, y'all finna have this argument. And Porsha just, I don't know, like, Porsha, are you trying to be in a relationship with this man? Or are you not trying to be, I'm confused. I'm confused. Like, it was just stupid. And he just looking dumb and just lost and confused too. And he think it's a joke. I probably would have laughed too. Because I'm like, okay, Porsha. So Phaedra, you know, invited all the girls to get together so that, you know, she can thank them personally in front of everybody, whatever, for their efforts and, you know, helping her put together the camp and, you know, telling them all the stories and how it went and how the kids didn't want to leave and all that stuff. Everybody was getting along fine. Here comes Phaedra was like, you know, what y'all feel about glamping? Okay, now see, the first time I ever heard about glamping, I was looking at Real Housewives of, was it Beverly Hills or Orange County? One of them things. One of the Real Housewives. Or was it Married to Medicine when Mariah tried to do that shit? Yeah, Mariah tried to do that shit with her other set of friends that when she got kicked off the island. That's where I first heard it from. And basically it's just camping for rich folks. It's not really camping. You probably outdoor, but you still got the same amenities that you do that you would have probably in a hotel or if you go on a vacation resort or whatever, but you outdoors. That's it. You know, so they didn't know what it was. Phaedra was trying to explain, and she was just trying to get a sense of if everybody would be willing to do it before she look into it and actually book it. Everybody was saying cool, cool, cool. Now, see, everybody is fine at this point. But see, this is where Kenya goes back into being old Kenya. And y'all can disagree all you fucking want. I don't give a shit. But Kenya did not need to bring up the shit about, well, you know, I'm just concerned about this. And I remember when we was in the escape room, you know, when you had that issue, Porsha, with what's her name? Jamie, we never got to the bottom and understood where that came from and why that happened. First of all, I'm going to stop you right there. There was no reason for her to bring up any of that. She was trying to be messy. You are not concerned with yourself. Baby, you got a fucking gun in your house, okay? Put that bitch in your purse and threaten that bitch with it if that's what you want to do. Okay? You from Detroit, bitch. Okay? Let's stop fucking acting. Let's stop fucking acting. All right? You can go confront 3 so-called trespassers in your house that come over a gate, but you scared of fucking Porsha. Okay? Because you never know what them trespassers could have did, could have had, or whatever. But you sure enough came running out your house with a Glock. All right? But you scared or you concerned because of Porsha and her past activities, and you're asking about, oh, what was that issue that happened with Jamie? That's none of your goddamn business because it was between Porsha and Jamie. That's why it really wasn't caught on tape like it should have been. Now, if it would have been caught on tape and we all saw the whole drag out, knockout fight, then you can ask about that, okay? Because then I'd be a little concerned. But it wasn't, okay? It was not meant to be seen, and it was not seen, all right? If you saw it, good for you. But it's none of your fucking business because obviously it's handled. We don't hear Jamie coming out saying anything about it. No, we don't, okay? So why do you need to know? Why do you feel threatened? Why are you so concerned? You can't go in. You literally been on this show this whole season around Porsha, and nothing really popped off. You told Porsha to leave your house and she left your house with no incident. So now all of a sudden, when y'all about to go so-called glamping, which means that you can go stay whichever part that you want to stay at. You don't have to stay by her or in the same quarters with her or whatever. You don't even have to say fucking hello. But now it's an issue, and you're trying to make it seem as if it's not, and you're just asking questions. You're just being concerned. Then you bring up the escape room. Oh well, Phaedra told me that you said that you was gonna talk to us about your anger management and all this stuff. Do I think Porsha is still doing the anger management? Hell no. But do I feel like she needed to prove something to them? Hell no. Because all of y'all done been in some shit. And that's what irks me about this whole fucking cast. Just because this girl has got into, a couple of altercations or whatever on the show, and I don't even call them fucking altercations. Y'all don't know what a fucking fight is, all right? Y'all really don't if y'all call these altercations or whatever, because that's not what it is. Y'all act like y'all ain't never got into it with y'all friends or other bitches that try y'all. That's what irks me about these people. I don't care if you was at a child, a teenager, a young adult, or whatever. You didn't get into it with somebody. Let's not fucking act like you haven't. Alright? Especially you fucking Candy. You was in the fucking group escape. Y'all fought a lot. Alright? Y'all fist fought a lot. Okay? Now let's be fucking serious. Alright? You from Detroit, Kenya? Come on. Come on. You been shipped here and there. Come on. You mean to tell me you ain't knocked the bitch out once or twice? Let's not do this, okay? All of a sudden, we get on TV, we get Hollywood, we get pretentious, and I'm not here for this, and I'm scared for my life. Fuck out of here with that bullshit, okay? And to be quite honest, Porsha ain't got to show you or tell you a goddamn thing, okay? That's one thing. She ain't got to sit here and tell you exactly what it is that she doing, okay? She's not begging to be around your ass. And then, you go straight for it and ask, well, I'm not trying to do this, and I'm not trying to bring it up to be shady, but are you on medication? Is there a certificate? I said, why did you even have to go there? Do you not understand that's being rude? That's being fucking asshole. That's being shady. You're not coming from a good place. You're not coming from a good place asking some shit like that. Okay? And then Candy, you asking too. Okay, so now all of a sudden you want to know. And like Porsha said, you piggybacking off her. Oh, you gonna tell her to piggyback your ass on up out the shell or whatever. You were piggybacking, bitch, because it wasn't on your mind until Kenya said something. That's what the fuck it was. Now let's stop fucking playing with me. I'm just sitting here like, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? You didn't need to bring that shit up. And here's the Kenya that I don't like. I don't fuck with, okay? Because that wasn't right. That wasn't right. You put that girl on the spot and you wasn't asking from a sincere place. You can't tell me that was a sincere place, and I won't believe it even if you do say it. I won't, because it's not. I can tell, and that shit wasn't. All right, and then you talking about some, well, we've been in, you dragged me, you did this to me, and all this stuff. And I'm like, so you still bringing up shit from some old shit from 2 seasons ago? Oh my God, how are we supposed to move forward and get over stuff if you keep bringing up the fucking past? Okay? She apologized for that shit. I wouldn't apologize for it because you deserve that shit. Like she said, you put something in her fucking face. You invaded her fucking space and she dragged you. Literally. She didn't punch you. She didn't knock your ass out. She dragged you back your motherfucking hair on the floor for a good 4 seconds, maybe 3, before somebody grabbed her. That's a fucking fight? Hell fucking no. That's a literal dragging for 3 seconds, but that ain't no goddamn real fight. Bitch, your hair probably was tender for a second. That's it. Okay? Fuck out of here. Then you still can't sit there and admit that you caused this girl to do that shit. Okay? You can't admit your responsibility and all of that. So how the fuck you gonna move forward? Why? Anyway, Kenya, you're full of shit. You full of shit still. I don't care what none of you say. She's full of shit. So Kenya is still, Candy. Candy and Porsha going back and forth, back and forth. You don't curse at me. You don't do this. And then at one point, Porsha just says, you know what? I'm going. Okay? She gets up. She says she's not talking to anybody. And Kenya was like, I'm finna go down there. Cynthia's telling Kenya, sit your ass down and quit doing what you're about to do because it's just going to make it worse. Which it somewhat did. But, Kenya once again, and I'm going to reiterate this. If you stands can't see this, I side eye the fuck out of you. Because that says a lot about you and what you allow and the behavior that you like to fuck with, okay? None of these bitches on here is my fave. I can give a fuck less, but I call out right and I call out wrong, okay? When Kenya got fucking dragged, she deserved it. When Cynthia kicked Porsha fucking deserved it because she stood over that bitch in a defensive ass manner like she was gonna whoop her ass, okay? So Porsha deserved that shit. Whatever went on between Jamie and Porsha was between Jamie and Porsha. I can't speak on that shit because I didn't see it all right? That's one thing, okay? Let's not act like none of you hoes ever got into a fight or argument with your friends, your family, and may or may not get physical, okay? A 3-second dragon, fuck that shit, bitch. And then this bitch is still talking as if she's up here and so much better and you can't do this. And she always talking and she don't, she can't admit her wrong. She can't admit this. Kenya, when have you ever admitted that you provoked that bitch? And then when Sheree brings up you are a provoker, okay? How did this get on me? Because, bitch, you brought it up. Okay, oh, you can talk shit about everybody else, but we can't call you out on your faults. That's basically what you're making it seem like, okay? And then, Phaedra, you just sitting there like, girl, whatever. I understand you trying to stay neutral, whatever, but then, I didn't agree with Sheree bringing that shit up about domestic abuse and, what you causing Matt to do this and Matt to do that, but then want to go upstairs and say that, Kenya was making light and making funny of the fact that she claims that Sheree was in a relationship and she was getting her ass whooped too. And, a woman should never utter those type of things with who's going through a domestic violence situation or something. But you did the same thing to her by saying that she basically gave Matt the reason to come break her shit up. Okay, both y'all situation. If you were in that domestic violence situation, regardless of what was going on, it should never get physical. It should never get to the point where property is getting destroyed. Okay, so both of y'all was wrong on that part. All right, Sheree, don't try to let yourself look good in that instance because you wasn't. But Porsha left. And I applaud Porsha for fucking leaving. Because at that moment in time, she could have reverted back to her old self or whatever and got all up in Kenya's face. And then Kenya would have got up in her face. And then that would have made Porsha, push her back. And then y'all would have been like, see, I told you the bitch can't keep her hands to herself. Okay, but no, she got in the car and she said, I see what Kenya is trying to do. She's trying to provoke me to whoop her ass. But you know what? I'm not finna give her that. And I applaud her from walking away from a situation. She did come back, maybe because production told her to bring her ass back. You still on the clock filming, okay? But she said she is not about to sit down with Kenya. She don't want to sit down with anybody because she's over the whole thing. She did the right thing. All right? And she did talk to, Phaedra talking about something. She never said that she was going to talk to them about her anger management. And to be quite honest, she don't have to. Okay? She don't have to. As long as she doing it. Because then if I'm telling you about it and a group of bitches that I done had issues with who really don't fucking like me, so it's going to make it seem as if I'm trying to do this shit for y'all. Hell no. And Porsha had to let Phaedra know, don't get caught up in Kenya bullshit, okay? Don't get caught down in her shit because she did not tell you or say that she was going to go and tell her or anybody else specifically that she's in anger management and all that shit. Talking about some people already sitting on ready. She don't want to be around people like that and she ready for this. I'm saying like, first of all of y'all making idle threats, y'all ain't gonna do shit. It's cute for the show, but let's stop the bullshit. She did say she ain't understand why Candy got so upset just by somebody saying that you're piggybacking and how she had to go out her body and curse so much at her, which I didn't understand either. And she was like, well, something brewing, okay? Because if you tell me you piggybacking, well, bitch, I'm not piggybacking. I wouldn't get so pissed off at that. She said it like, well, bitch, you over there fucking piggybacking. And then that'll cause somebody to get pissed off because you're going to be turning that same tone. That's not how Porsha can't make candy. So she knows something brewing and she gonna find out. And I'm like, girl, you should already know. You on edge with her ass after you came at her about Phaedra and all that bullshit. Come on. But Phaedra at the end gonna say she rolling with Porsha. Y'all, this shit is just complicatedly dumb for no reason, okay? Y'all too fucking grown for this shit. That's all I'ma say. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. Be respectful. I said what I said in my Nene voice. Can't stand that bitch either. But it is what it is. I'll see y'all later. Peace.